as well. And so, I don't know what's going on with my screen here. Let's try that once more. So we're going to pull in some other strategies, in particular, work on the more complicated side first. So there's not a whole lot you can do on that right-hand side. So I'm going to look at the left-hand side. And I could try switching everything to sines and cosines, right? In particular, I could switch the cosecant. But before I do that, instead of doing it twice, I'm just going to try and work with that cosecant once. And so these terms both have that common factor. And so I'm going to pull that out. And when I pull that out, I'm looking to see what's left behind. When I pull cosecant out of cosecant, there's just a 1 left. And then this minus cosine squared of x is left behind there. And if you want to check and see if you're on the right track, just do the distributive property and make sure that it ends up back where you were. And of course it does. And so now again, we're using some other strategies. And so when I see that cosine squared, I should definitely be thinking about some of my fundamental identities. And when I see 1 minus cosine squared, I should remember that, oh yeah, that's sine squared. And so that can definitely be a good substitution. And so cosecant of x times sine squared of x. And so now what do I do? Well, I want to think a little bit about where I'm aiming. I'm aiming for sine, so that's good. Here's a sine, but there are 2 of them. This isn't a sine, but I know that cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. And so now I get this. And of course, sine squared means sine of x times sine of x. And so basically, I'm going to have a sine of x on the bottom, and then on the top, if I write out that squared, what that means, I have sine of x times sine of x, right? And so now I cancel one thing from the numerator with one thing from the denominator, right? They're both exactly the same. And so I end up with sine of x, and that's just what I was looking for. So I have verified that identity.